Disclaimer: I am just a humble Genshin Impact fan. I do not own any of the rights to Genshin Impact, or any of the content within it, such as the lore books. Those specifically belong to Hoyoverse. What I do have, however, are friends with things like learning disabilities, such as dyslexia and ADHD, or very little free time, making reading the lore books either in-game or on wiki pages hard for them. Our solution to these problems has been for me to make these recordings so that they can listen to them and still get to enjoy Genshin lore like the rest of us. I have chosen to upload these recordings to YouTube as a way of sharing them with other fans within the community who might be in similar situations. I am admittedly no voice actress, trained narrator, or video editor, but I have tried my best, so please be gentle with me. Therefore, without further ado, let's get into today's story. The Two Musketeers. A series about conspiracy, revenge, justice, and evil that took Fontaine by storm. Volume 1. In a newsstand across from the Beaumont workshop. An old man with grey hair carefully stood 6 musket rounds on the table, looking at the brother and sister before him with his nearly blind eyes. 6 bullets. Will they suffice? The old man asked. They will, said the brother. The old man sighed. He had kept his promise, teaching the 2 orphans he found at his doorstep everything he knew. Swordsmanship, marksmanship, deception, how to infiltrate a mansion and not be spotted by the hounds, how to kill someone in their sleep without leaving a trace, and how to pull the trigger without hesitation. 6 bullets, 6 lives, the old man said to himself. No, said the sister. 5 lives. 2 of those are for the same person. The old man didn't say anything. He didn't ask why they chose him, and he didn't ask how they planned to carry it out, just like his teacher hadn't asked him all those years ago. But the old man cared about his students. His nearly blind eyes had seen more than anyone in the city. Revenge is a one-way street, children, he said. What you've learned from me isn't enough for you to live a rich and meaningful life. I don't want you to end up like me. Just look at my eyes. Divine punishment meted out to those who seek revenge. He tried to open his cloudy eyes for them to see. We died 20 years ago, said the brother. If we don't fire these bullets at those who deserve them, then we cannot return to the land of the living. The old man stopped speaking. He had known this day would come when he took them in. All right, I will not try to persuade you any further. He supported himself with his arms and stood up. Lately, even something as simple as standing took a toll on him. Even so, he wanted to go around the table and hug his favorite students. He knew that this was the last time they would see each other. The old man asked, Do you need anything else? No, said the brother. The old man noticed that the sister frowned. He couldn't see it, but he felt it. What is it, Iris? The old man asked. He had always liked Iris better. While she was considerate and passionate, she never hesitated when she had a gun in her hand. Iris looked at the flowers outside the window and said, Actually, I have another request. May I pick a few of your rainbow roses? The Two Musketeers, page 224. Volume 2. Sold by Hubel at the court of Fontaine. This is it. 2 muskets pointed at the Baron's head. The sound of blood dripping from one of the guns served as a countdown for the noble's life. Splat, splat, splat. Useless trash, the Baron cursed in his mind while staring at the guards on the floor behind the 2 shooters. I paid them so much money for nothing. Do you know who we are? One of the shooters asked. So what if I do? You can tell the judge of hell who sent you there. The storm washed over his face, eyes, and ears, but the sound of the dripping blood was crystal clear. Splat, splat, splat. I know who you are, Iris, Tulip, my children, spoke the Baron. He was done resisting. On the stormy night, crumpled on the muddy ground, he was tired. Tulip spat.
How dare you call yourself our father? I wonder what the look on your face was when you killed Mother 20 years ago, when you forced her to take poison.
The Baron sighed and closed his eyes, recalling what had happened then. To his surprise, it was effortless. Her eyes emerged suddenly before his eyes. How could he not have fallen in love with her? Her wondrous silhouette, her melodious laughter. From one room to the next, she had stolen glances at him. Her brown eyes, deep as a serene lake, shone like the night stars. How could he have turned her down? Will you marry me? Looking into her eyes, how could he say no? How, then, could she betray him? Why had she asked for more, thinking that he would elope with her? Splat, splat, splat. She asked for too much, the Baron said, opening his eyes. Mother never asked for anything. She just wanted to live a quiet life like everyone else. Iris argued. Blood dripped from the grip of her musket, but her hand did not tremble. She asked me to give up my wealth and run away with her, the Baron roared. He was sure that his children didn't understand the idea of wealth and power. She asked you to give up your vanity and give her true love instead, just as you had promised to, said Iris. You would have made the same choice were you in my shoes.
No,
said Tulip with conviction.
We would not kill our loved ones for wealth and power. Only the devil is capable of doing that.
The Baron shook his head. He no longer wished to argue. Splat, splat, splat. What is the point of this? He asked himself and the shooters both. You lost your mother and you're about to kill your father. What else will you have left besides your crime? Iris and Tulip looked at each other. There was no hesitation in their eyes. Justice. 2 shots rang out, like thunder roaring through the night. Every drop of rain shivered in shock. They stood in the rain, unmoving. The storm battered the city, but nothing was louder than their silence. After a long time, Iris took out a rainbow rose and placed it on the Baron's chest. Then, falling into her brother's arms, she wept. The rain washed away her tears, and the mixture flowed freely into the earth toward the realm of the dead. Then her body suddenly shook as she grabbed Tulip's clothes.
What's wrong, Iris?
Look. She pointed at the rainbow rose she had just put down. It bloomed quietly in the dark, as vibrant as the Baron's blood. Mother's favourite flower is blooming. The Two Musketeers, page 358. Volume 3. Sold by Hubel at the court of Fontaine. Number 65, Ooze Avenue. The wooden door to a tavern in a cranny of the city of Sin was kicked open with a bang. The muscular man was dressed in black from head to toe. If it weren't for the candles in the tavern, one would think that it was the heavy darkness of night that had forced the door open. The intruder turned slightly. The brim of his hat covered most of his face, showing only his sharp chin. He looked around, almost as if wondering why he was here. From his relaxed posture and relieved breathing, patrons could speculate that he had either accomplished something very important or just carried out some revenge. And at that moment, he just wanted a drink. He walked toward the bar, and the raindrops on his coat followed him like loyal spirits. His boots thudded with every heavy step taken, leaden with unbelievable, crushing conviction.
Give me something strong,
he said with a voice low enough to shatter wine bottles. The owner poured him a glass reluctantly, then looked at the door and wondered how long it would take him to wipe the boot print off.
Thank you,
said the man.
I just accomplished something great alongside my sister.
Well, where is she? The owner asked, deciding to make some small talk.
She went to plant flowers. I gave her all my money because she's always wanted to do that.
How will you pay for your drink, then? The man seemed taken by surprise, as if he had never considered it.
I guess I'll pay with this.
The man tossed a black musket onto the bar top with a thud. The patrons next to him spilled their drink with terror. Everyone held their breath.
I'm not taking that.
The owner feigned calm as he replied, but quietly he reached into the drawer under the bar where he hid a pistolet. He wasn't sure if he could fire it faster than the man in front of him, though.
Don't worry, it just fired its last and most important shot, and will never be used again.
The explanation done, the man downed another drink. The owner caught a glimpse of the man's face when he raised his head. It was a handsome face, with a high nose, some scars, and sad black eyes. The owner withdrew his hand from the drawer. This man wasn't here to cause a scene. It was almost as if he had been drunk even before entering the tavern.
May I have another?
The man asked.
You've had enough,
replied the owner.
I know, but tonight was special.
He didn't notice that the owner was trying to get him to leave.
How so?
I just killed someone.
The owner's hands froze. Coming from this man, it didn't sound like a joke.
It was revenge,
added the man.
He killed my mother.
And who was he?
The Baron.
Nonsense.
Now the owner was certain that the man was drunk. Everyone knew the Baron was bad news. Many wanted to kill him, but none dared to risk their lives to try.
I suppose you could have missed the gunshot if your farts were loud enough,
the man taunted. The owner looked at the man again. He had large hands and a muscular build. He seemed to have been through countless fights. No tavern scuffles these, but real fights that had put his life on the line. Something flashed across the owner's mind. He recalled the series of musket murders where the killer always left a rainbow rose and struck on stormy nights.
No way. Are you?
Before the owner could finish, lightning struck beyond the wooden door and a wind gale threw it open. Night flooded in, drowning the patrons like a tidal wave. When the candles were lit again, the man was gone, but he had left his musket behind. It stared everyone down in silence, like some solemn god of death staring into the night that belonged to it. The Two Musketeers. Finn. Other information. The full story is summarized by Chevreuse during the event story quest, Roses and Muskets, Act 1, The Crack of Muskets Breaking the Silence, as follows. The story is about a pair of children born into the household of a baron and their struggle to survive together and take revenge for their mother. They were raised at the baron's estate where their mother worked as a maid. The two were illegitimate children that the baron had with the maid, so they were never treated well by anyone. One day, upon returning home, they found their mother had been murdered and left for dead on the floor. It was quite evident that the culprits were the other members of the baron's household, who never had any kind words to say to them. However, the baron was able to exert his influence and keep the whole thing under wraps. The mother's death was eventually deemed as a suicide, and there was no chance of bringing her murders to justice. The two siblings decided to flee, and someday avenge their mother. Many years later, members of the baron's family suddenly started turning up dead, one after another, all killed by gunshot. A rainbow rose was found on each of the victims' bodies, being the flower that the kid's mother liked best. The baron believed that the mother's soul had come to take vengeance on him, so he lived in fear each day. But it was actually those two siblings who fled all those years ago. They relied on each other to survive and trained day and night, eventually becoming adept musketeers. They used all of their abilities to collect evidence and clues before executing their plan and exacting revenge on the baron. Their actions let the truth behind their mother's death be known to all. As revealed in the Roses and Muskets event, the Two Musketeers is a fictionalized version of the lives of Baptiste and Veronique and the revenge they wish to seek on their biological father, Maurice. During Roses and Muskets, Xavier produces a film adaptation of The Two Musketeers with Chevreuse playing Tulip and Ayaka playing Iris. The title is a parody of the French novel The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. Other names. Sources. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Ad Astra Abasosk.